Hey everyone, just stopping in to let you know that this episode contains some pretty heavy subject matter, so I would highly encourage you to check the content warnings in the description before proceeding. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
If only it could have been so easy. After the Bone Mage and the Mindbreaker's brutal assault on the Inquisition's secret headquarters, it looked as if the gang's struggles of the past few days were finally over. The Inquisition soldiers in the city were either dead or routed, and the ritual was en route to Voltaire's secure hands. But their reprieve was not to last, as shadowy servants of the Inquisition struck when they least expected, knocking our heroes unconscious and taking them deep down below. I despise this, the High Inquisitor muttered as he walked through the tunnel, lifting his robe to step over a puddle of foul-smelling fluid. Forced to scurry in the dark like rats, our forces whittled away to nothing. But we were able to bring the ritual back, the shadow at his side stated. Surely that is reason for thanks. The Confessor must have been truly inspired to send us after these ones. The Confessor held a grudge from his previous defeat at their hands, the High Inquisitor hissed. It was only by the hand of Providence that his grudge also led us to the ritual. What should we do with them now, High Inquisitor? Let the Confessor have his fun. Our focus must be on preparing the ritual. It is the key to everything. Only one of our prisoners holds any interest for me.
Oh boy.
Ah.
I'm not okay.
I'm ready. I am pumped.
I
agree,
later, but I am
so ready.
Let's do it.
The first thing that came to mind is God help us all.
I honestly don't think I have, in the, 3 years we've been playing games, I don't think I've ever been so scared for a session.
So, Voltaire wakes up, and he sees the masked face of the Confessor standing above him as he is strapped to a table. The Confessor takes off his half mask, revealing a demonic side to his face, one half human, the other half red and black and thorny, and he holds up that cross staff and hisses, "Confess!" Golden light washes over Voltaire, and his world becomes fire. What is your discipline?
My discipline is currently 2 yellow and 1 green. That feels woefully inadequate.
I just wanted to shout out how Jonathan did laugh at your skill in this.
Yeah. It's like, what's your discipline? 2 yellow, 1 green? That never bodes well.
Oh.
In case any of y'all are wondering.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
We're gonna be fine.
Is it though?
This is just
Maybe.
a moment in time.
I wasn't worried, but now I am.
Voltaire, you suffer 3 wounds and 3 strain as your world becomes fire and everything is burning, and you are transported back in time as you see yourself from your own point of view as you pull out a shotgun and blow someone's head off. This scene, in so many variants, is replayed again and again. Sometimes with a crossbow, sometimes with a bow, sometimes with a shotgun or a rifle, as centuries of death flash through your mind. So much death. So much violence. Confess your sin. What are you? Everything is burning. You feel like white hot metal has been applied to your skin all over your body. And you feel the answer being torn out of you.
Murderer.
Confess. What are you?
Murderer.
Confess for the world and God to hear. What are you?
And he gets progressively louder. He's just like, murderer.
And you flash back again to even earlier as you see a beautiful woman tied to a stake as the bundles of wood beneath her are lit aflame. Murdered so many. All started here. You blame all of your problems on the Inquisition, but you are the one who should have burned that day. Your soul is black. Your blood is that of angels, but your heart is that of a sinner. And you see the figure in the robes of a cardinal standing and watching, no expression as he watches Anna burn.
You can hear a crack as Voltaire's clenched his jaw so much. He's cracked one of his own teeth. And through his clenched jaw, you just hear, I am vengeance.
Vengeance. Did you ever think to ask your masters when they sent you to kill who it was? You feel that burn again, forcing the answer out of you.
No.
Do you have any idea of the number of innocents you killed on the orders of your demonic masters?
No.
You're pulled back into the moment. You see the confessor above you again. You are a stain on this world. I was born with the blood of demons in my veins, and I chose the light. But you, the son of one of the heavenly host, chose the side of the fallen. You see just absolute hate and disgust for you in his eyes. You are not vengeance. What are you? And you feel that burn redouble, and you're going to do another discipline check here.
Excellent.
He wants you to scream.
I say after what Voltaire's watched, yeah, he's in pain, but he is also pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to flip a story point.
All right.
And if I failed, then he gets what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a shriek that shouldn't come from a man like Voltaire, screaming, murderer.
And finally, the light fades and the pain abates, and you're feeling pretty weak.
Understandable.
As he steps aside, doesn't it feel good to confess your sins? It must have been quite a while. And then he slaps a strap over your mouth before you can gather the energy to actually respond. And then he leaves.
Okay.
Guys, I'm not going to survive this session, I don't think.
Okay, so A,
we shall see.
That was the second most intense thing you have ever put one of my characters through. Bravo. B, what do I see?
You are in a dark room. There is no light other than the Confessor's cruciform staff, which, even when not active, and this light is glowing faintly. And as he leaves, the last light in the room leaves with him, but you get a glimpse as he's leaving of some sort of dark stone room. The only thing in this room is the table that you are strapped to.
Okay.
Only thing that you can see, at least from your vantage point of being on a table and unable to see.
Unable to move.
You can't move your head after he clapped that strap on.
Yeah. Is there currently, how am I bound?
You are bound with straps, leather straps binding you to this table, which seems to be made of stone. You're bound by your hands, your legs, your chest, and now your head.
Thorough. Points for being thorough.
So to get out, you could attempt a athletics check, a skullduggery check, or a coordination check. Well, skullduggery if you had some sort of tools to justify it. So coordination is you're trying to slip out of your restraints. Athletics, you're trying to just brute strength bust out of your restraints. And skullduggery would be, that'd be extra difficult, but it would be basically like getting your hand around to undo the straps.
Good.
Well, I guess you wouldn't need tools in this particular case to do that with the kind of straps you've got, like the kind of restraints you're dealing with.
My skullduggery sucks, so we don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
Aside from that, we have a choice between 2 yellow in athletics and 3 green in coordination. But I was thinking, is there any way that I can, angel magic myself out of here?
No. You feel cut off when you try to reach for that power. Something is blocking you from reaching the source of your power.
Ah, interesting. So if I can't touch that power, I imagine I can't speak with dear old angelic pop-ups either.
When Voltaire tries, there's nothing. No answer.
Just nothing. Great. Back to the old days. Yeah, that'd just get him frustrated. Athletics check. We're going to try and bust out of here.
All right, what's your athletics?
2 yellow.
You failed with a triumph and 3 threats. So you just try to bust out, and you are going to end up hurting yourself in the process. Fair. As the restraints are so tight that they just dig into your skin. You're in so much frustration that you push past what you should. And you are going to suffer 1 wound and 2 strain as you cut yourself on your restraints. But they are now looser.
Making it easier if one were to, say, attempt a coordination check to slip out of them.
Yes, the coordination check is now 1 difficulty easier. That is from your triumph.
Excellent. That'll be 3 green, and I would very much enjoy being able to flip a story point.
Flipping it back.
Fair.
That is a flat failure. So you don't hurt yourself this time, but you are not able to get out of your restraints. So we're going to move on to the next person while Voltaire's still trying to get himself out, which is Elianna.
Oh, no, not like this.
You absolute savage.
Dare. Don't you dare.
Savage.
I saw his face when he looked at my face. And I realized that there are 6 people this call, but it didn't matter. I knew he was looking at me.
All right. So you are woken up by a bright, bright light shining in your eyes.
Oh.
And you look up to see the masked form of the Confessor standing over you.
Elianna's looking around like, what the frick is going on?
There is no need to worry, my dear.
I would disagree.
You are my guest. I must ask you, how long has it been since your last confession?
See, that seems like something that's none of your business.
I am a priest.
Not my priest.
This day, I am. Since it seems it's been some time since your last confession, this should be a purifying experience for you. He holds his glowing staff over you and hisses. Now, confess. Discipline.
2 yellow and 2 green.
Oh, wow. You got some good discipline.
I spent like 3 years in the summer court. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to flip a story point.
Of course you are. I would like to flip it.
You failed. No threats. No advantages.
Okay.
Your skin suddenly feels like it's on fire as golden light fills the room, and you suffer 3 wounds and 3 strain, and you are flashed back in time. You see from your eyes as Voltaire blasts away Marid in the casino. You watch as your friends kill, coerce, and otherwise brutalize a whole range of individuals. You see through your eyes as a much younger you looks away from the actions of your father and other members of the gang that you grew up in. You watch as Donovan enters a side room with some other men and women, and you choose to ignore what you know is happening in that room. So much violence, so much pain, so much you could have tried to stop, so much you never did. So much you failed to do. And then you see from your eyes, shakily holding a gun in your hands in front of you, as Rian is attacked by a Strigoi vampire, and you are unable to pull the trigger. You fail to help your friends when they need you most. You see from your eyes, as you're in the car, 3 years ago from your perspective, and a Bavanshi slowly freezes you over. You fail to even do so much as stay out of danger. And then you, sitting alone with Joan and Julie, you fail to do anything of worth other than bog everyone else down. What are you? And you feel it being pulled out of you. What are you? What are you?
Failure.
Good. Doesn't that feel good to let out? But there's so much more in here, isn't there? And you flash back, and you see yourself lying to the police about your father's actions, lying in high society to work your way up, lying in the court of summer, lying to get your way, lying to hurt others. So much deception. Do you even know what the truth is anymore? With all these lies, what are you?
Liar.
There's one more thing. Buried deep, where so much of this started. You feel that burning redouble. Where did your sin begin? And you're in the driver's seat of a car. You watch as your father and some of his boys go into a recently opened store. You sit uncomfortably, turning up the music so you don't have to hear what's going on inside, when suddenly a piercing, high-pitched wail peers out of the air. Sirens screeching. You cover your ears when the doors of the store fly open, and your father and his boys rush inside, shouting at you to drive. You see the flashing red and blue lights, and you fly out of there. You turn immediately, barely missing an oncoming car, and fly down the road. As you fly towards an intersection, you see just a brief gap in the traffic. You head straight for it, hoping that there won't be room for the cops to follow. And then the light of the sun gets in your eyes. You glance back, and you fail to see, until it's too late, the figure directly in front of your car as you fly over and through them. Slam on the brakes, bring the car to a halt. Do you see a young boy, his chest caved in on the ground? The death of an innocent at your hands. What are you?
Murderer.
Failure, liar, murderer. Isn't it good to finally admit that to yourself? The light fades and you're back in the room with him. And the half of his face that you can see smiles down at you with a parody of a fatherly smile as he turns around and walks out of the room. His work here finished.
Elianna doesn't do anything, but just completely break down.
I thought this food would make me happy.
Mood.
Thought.
But
Anyone else ready to kill this guy?
No. I'm too sad.
well, Voltaire's more than ready.
I was ready to kill him before.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the next opportunity. Voltaire can try and get out.
Opportune moment.
As he goes to Joan.
Oh,
No, don't. We've had enough.
Jonathan, don't do it.
What do you mean don't do it? This is literally his job.
I have to.
I know. I know it's futile to say such things. I'm just expressing my
For once in your life,
frustration.
just don't do it.
He's going to do it. He can't stop. It's too late. We're too deep in. Seriously.
And it would also be really messed up of me to do this to your guys' characters and not do it to Joan.
That's a good point. That's fair.
True, but
that's
But Joan is...
fair.
All of
All
these
right.
characters are so precious. I'm not happy.
Joan wakes up and sees this guy above her, and immediately she jerks her arms, and once she feels that her arms are restrained, she just like glares at him and spits out like, glare! She does not have access to use her hands. That will add 2 black dice. First thing she does is try to throw a spell at this guy.
Hang on, she actually has access to her power?
Her power does not come from an outside source.
Does mine? Oh, okay. Well, all right.
You
Never
haven't
mind.
tried to use your power yet.
Okay, fine.
All right. Frost covers his mask and down the side of his body, and he just cracks his neck, and the frost shatters. Now, that was not very polite of you. With your upbringing, I don't think you've ever gone to confession. This is something that should be righted. Every child has much to confess. So, since you haven't done this before, Joan interrupts him. You condescending piece of pond scum. You have no idea what you're doing here. Once I get out of here, you are going to suffer. That's not the way to do this. But don't worry. We'll tame that rebellious spirit of yours. Since you haven't done this before, I'll give you a bit of a description. I am going to give you some incentive, and then you are going to confess your sin. Let us begin. I won't give anything to you. Oh dear child, you don't have a choice. Now, confess. Gonna flip a story point and then flip it back. Joan does not want to give this guy anything.
I need Joan.
Definitely not the satisfaction.
I need her to be angry enough. That's all I need from Joan. I need her to be angry.
Ooh.
No, don't make that noise.
That's not good.
That's a bad noise.
How bad is it?
How many?
It's bad.
Joan, with her 3 ranks in discipline and 4 willpower, as she feels this burning start to happen, she puts up all of her mental blocks, and nothing happens for a bit. The confessor scowls and grips tighter on his staff, which glows brighter. And Joan suddenly feels like he has stabbed a lance of flame into her skull. She screams. "Ah!" She is going to suffer 6 wounds and 6 strain as he bursts through her mental defenses.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks to that despair. And she is plunged into the summer court as she watches herself talk to Elianna as Joan tries and fails to convince Elianna to come back with her, and then betrays her by knocking her out and taking her against her will. Then Joan is with Julie on their first date, then their eventual breakup, then when she first saw her again after weeks, when she went to Sanguine Desire with Voltaire, then finally, when Joan brings the group to Sanguine Desire, where Stefan, as a way to get back at the group, or specifically Voltaire, who Joan brought with her, as Stefan turns Julie partway into a vampire, Joan, at least in her mind, betrayed Julie because Stefan knew that Julie was important to Joan. It's her fault that Julie had to suffer, had to be made into something other than human. Betraying your friends to pull them into your games. Betraying your lover, letting her be made into a monster. Now, child, what are you? What are you? Betrayer. A little louder, please. Betrayer, as my fault. Julie should never have been in that situation. I shouldn't have brought Elianna into this. You drag everyone else into your problems. Cause them so much pain and suffering. Why is that? What are you? Say again. Selfish. Selfish. Isn't that a good girl? You're gonna pay for this. Still haven't learned. Well, don't worry. We'll have more time for you later. For now, ruminate on what you've learned. Oh, and don't start throwing any more of that witchcraft around. Takes a strap over her mouth and leaves the room. Caitlin, are you?
No, you go ahead. It's fine. I'm so angry. I'm so angry.
This is not fine.
I'm so
This is not fine.
Bust out.
You can't.
Next victim.
You can't do that to Joan. You can't do that. Like,
that's
Voltaire's
that's
hurt
too
a
much.
lot. But this is not allowed. This is against the rules. This is
See
against
that?
the
See,
rules.
hey,
This is the
you
rules.
guys specifically said, why bother saying don't do it, Jonathan? I knew exactly what was going to happen. And now Caitlin's like, ooh, not cool. You crossed the line.
I didn't
not cool, Jonathan.
I didn't expect the just full body reaction, reaction to that one.
You didn't think about the implications,
I didn't
Caitlin.
think
That was
about
your mistake.
the implications.
You're supposed to think about the implications.
Oh my
So now you know what Joan feels guilty for.
Joan, it's okay. It's okay, though. You don't have to feel bad about that. It's fine.
That hurt me. I was like, that's something she's guilty about? What? I was like,
All right,
I was
All right.
surprised about
Next
what he was
victim.
guilty about.
Yeah, me too.
I
was very surprised.
Stop lying. Let's talk about your
It's
feelings.
like, excuse me, what?
Anyway, next. I'm
All right.
mhm.
Next is Rian.
Oh, gosh.
I'm gonna die.
I'm not ready.
I'm really excited for this one because I just don't know. I know nothing about him. Him and Cayden, I think I know the least about, and like guilt wise, so I think they're the ones I'm most excited to
I'm
hear.
extremely curious, but I'm also like, don't hurt this boy. I care about him.
This pure boy.
I was kind of
so
hoping
young.
you last, but okay, fine.
Rian wakes up. You wake up to the masked form of the Confessor standing over you. You are strapped down to a table.
Rian kind of just moves his head left to right and looks around. Not quite exactly what I thought would happen.
Yes, I do not think this is what you would have anticipated.
And who are you?
Today, I am your priest, and you are long overdue for a confession.
Yeah, sorry, but not really a religious type, so I don't see how you could be my priest.
Even heathens must be brought into the light of our Lord.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Whoa, all right. Oh, all right. All right.
This entered a new territory I was not expecting. Go on.
Guys.
Heathen is a fancy term for someone who's not Christian.
Yeah, but the specific
the implication.
The person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself.
I understand what you guys mean.
No,
thank you.
yes,
Cayden and I are on the same wavelength here.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
All right.
After he says that, he's like, heathen. You're one to talk for being part of an organization who murders innocent children.
All for the glory of God.
What God do you follow?
The one. The one true God.
Then he's no God of mine.
It is time for you to face the light and confess.
Here we go!
What's your discipline?
2 yellow, 1 green. Am I allowed to use intense focus?
Yeah.
I'm using it twice, suffering that 4 strain, and then I am flipping a story point.
All right.
Upgrading this thing 3 times.
I'll flip that back, but that is some clever... that's good use of that. Did you actually... Huh.
What?
What?
We'll get back to that in a second.
Jonathan?
All right. So, you feel burning as you take 1 wound and 1 strain, and you go back in time. Except, this is not something that you actually saw. You see your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother and your father alone in the woods, as shapes move about them, too fast to see, through the branches of the trees. Then an emaciated figure, gray skin, standing over 7 feet tall, steps out of the underbrush, smelling of rotting flesh, and it lets out an almost human laugh, and then releases an unearthly wail as others of its kind streak out from the underbrush. And your parents, skilled as they are, on their own, are torn apart. You failed when your family needed you most. You were not there for them. You abandoned them. What are you? But when that pull comes, you're able to hold it back. As while you got threats, you succeeded this check.
Yeah.
So you feel that tug that's where he tries to pull out that you are a betrayer, you abandoned your family, but you can't even, it's not even clear because you push it down before it can get up. So your mouth is your own. You can say whatever you want. What are you? What are you?
I am someone who will not give you what you want.
And he just slaps you across the face with his staff. Oof. You're going to take 3 wounds as the side of the cross just slashes across your cheek, right into your cheekbone. Just
oof. Ouch.
You ungodly heathen. It seems I will need to spend some time in prayer before I can be ready to give you the confessional you deserve. But do not worry. We will purge you of your sin.
Take your time with your prayer. You may need it.
And he growls, not like something a human should make. Before he turns around and leaves the room.
I
Sorry?
have never felt so satisfied.
So proud of Rian at this very moment.
So proud. Oh my gosh. And those are the most Rian things to say.
Oh, heck yes.
And I love it so much.
Okay. Woo!
Yeah.
How about that intense focus, Rian?
Gosh.
Oh my
heck yes.
gosh.
Nice work, Nathaniel.
Thanks. All right. What does the room look like as soon as he leaves?
Well, once he leaves, you can't see anything. But
right.
as he's leaving, you would get a glimpse of its stone, and you're strapped down.
I would like to try and get out of these straps.
What way?
I'm going coordination. So we're going to slip out.
Heck yes.
All right, what's your coordination?
My coordination is 1 yellow, 3 green. I will use intense focus once, so suffering 1 strain, and also flip another story point.
Heck yes.
All right, flipping back. You had 1 more success.
Come on.
So
all right, you failed, and with those 2 threats, you end up rubbing your wrists almost raw.
Oh,
you're not quite. You don't actually take off the skin, but you're gonna take 1 wound and 1 strain.
Jeez.
Okay, that's fair.
That's tender.
But man, that was just satisfying.
What a legend!
That was good.
What a legend.
We needed that in this section.
Oh my god!
I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
Well, next time we'll make it out.
Cayden wakes up to see the Confessor standing over him.
He sees him.
Yes, his goggles are gone.
Okay. How bright is the light typically?
Pretty bright, and he also doesn't have his earbuds.
Well, the thing is there any other sound?
No, you're good. There's not.
A very
if you want to make a perception check, you could hear some sounds, but there's no sounds in the room happening besides the sounds of the Confessor breathing and his heart beating and stuff.
Yeah. So as I was thinking about the situation, he won't get sensory overload, but that light is going to suck. So he'll see for a moment and then he'll immediately be closing his eyes again.
And you might take 1 strain from that.
I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
Just with, your super senses.
The way it works. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. He just kind of opens his eyes, glances through it and then winces and then just closes immediately again. Just enough to kind of take in what he saw. Yeah, that was not pleasant.
Sinners oft feel uncomfortable looking into the light.
I think most people don't like looking at the sun, thank you very much, but sure.
Only because they are unclean and must be purified.
Yep. Sure, that's what you tell all of them. Is there any particular reason for me to be here? And he kind of tests his arms and finds out he's strapped and everything.
It is time for your confession.
Well, frankly, I don't think I've ever really confessed before, so if you wouldn't mind, I'd rather not.
That only means you have all the more need for it.
I think I'll confess when I'm good and ready. Thank you. Father, Bishop, how do I address you?
I am the Confessor.
Well, that seems a little on the nose, but all right.
Your quips do nothing to hide your sin and your fear and your guilt. Come into the light. The time is now for you to confess. What's your discipline?
3 will, 5 ranks.
Woo, boy.
He was more afraid of the Mindbreaker, so we've been working hard.
Kill him.
Right?
Kill him.
What is are you flipping any story points here?
What's the current pool?
2 GM, 5 players story points.
Okay. Then, yes.
All right, flipping it back.
That's fine. Huh. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Oh, uh-huh. I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that at all.
You are flung back in time, and you watch as you, acting as Morgan's hound, take people and bring them to her. Men, women, young and old. Morgan says, take this one, and you go and do. And you never ask what she does with them. When Morgan sends you to pull the cord on an old man in a hospital, cutting off the only thing keeping him alive, then you go back further to before you were with Morgan, as one of the hounds of God, as you were sent on a mission, and you, leading your squad, led them into the den of the monster, a monster that drove them mad with visions. And as one of your own turned against you, you killed him. And you could do nothing as the other two killed one another. So much death. And all for what? You see yourself beaten, broken at the edge of life, and with a monster still there, needing to be killed. Out of nowhere, when you think all hope is lost, Morgan appears, offering a deal to give you the ability to defeat this monster, to end its threat, but in exchange, you will be hers. You sold yourself to an enemy of mankind. You killed your brothers in arms. You killed innocents, captured them and brought them into your master's waiting hands. Then you see yourself in a trial by combat against your own brother, as you are being judged for the murder of your beloved. And you come far too close to ending your brother's life. The death and betrayal of family, abandoning God and all attempt at righteousness to serve a mistress of darkness, her pet, her murderer. Say it. What are you? But with the result you got here, you can resist. It's not the same roll that Rian got, though. That force trying to pull the answer out of you is much stronger. But you can resist it. Do you?
Give me a moment. Just a second.
It's pulling at you.
Yes,
kind of.
He does. If it's a heat of the moment thing, yeah, he'd resist it.
All right. You push back against it with such force that with those two clashing forces of your will versus the Confessor's, your body starts to convulse as you go into spasms. Your jaw locks and you start frothing at the mouth. Your body is turning against itself as the Confessor tries to yank this out of you. But you are able to keep it inside, thanks to your success with the despair.
What do I... I'm assuming I'm taking wounds and strain for this.
Yes, so you're going to take 2 wounds.
Okay.
But you're going to take 6 strain, and you are unable to perform any actions or maneuvers for a while. You are immobilized and staggered for the foreseeable future as you just go into spasms. The Confessor pulls back and he shakes his head as he leaves your convulsing body behind.
I will say, I don't know how the whole Confessor thing works, but if he can appear and kind of see into the mind, as part of this actual fight against, his will, the will itself becomes the image of a wolf that lashes out and bites right at his will, just to snap at the direction toward it, as it's just fighting inside him.
Yeah, well then the mental image that you get of the Confessor's will is a dual image. You haven't seen what's under the mask,
right?
But you see what almost looks like a split. On one side is the black and red form of a demon with a horn curling off of his head and a bat-like wing coming from his back. And on the other side, an angel of wrath burning with crimson fire as a wing of light comes out from that side of his back. As this half demon, half vengeful angel image battles with the image of a wolf within your mind.
I love that. Thank you for that. I wanted that. All right. Frick. Okay. Staggered and immobilized. Understood.
You good?
Ben?
Are you going to be okay?
I'm not going to be okay.
You sure? How you feeling, Caitlin?
I'm well, I don't know anymore. Because my brain is going like, ooh, this is so interesting narratively, the ways the characters are reacting to this presentation of their inner self-concept. But then my whole body is like going on this whole other roller coaster of, oh no, I'm so terrified. Heck yes, destroy him. Whoa! A single tear just rolled down my cheek. I don't know what that is. I'm having an experience. That's how I'm doing.
All right.
Then Andi.
Yes. I've been waiting for.
This should be fun.
I am ready.
Andi wakes up to that.
Does someone wake Andi up?
The light in your eyes wakes you up.
Okay, cool.
And she sees the confessor standing over her.
Huh. She's really confused. And then she remembers what happens. And she's still kind of confused. And a little bit angry. But she doesn't know what's going on. And she's just going to stay silent for now.
Child, the time has come for your confession. The side of his face that isn't covered by a mask raises an eyebrow. You find that funny?
Yes?
I presume it has been some time since your last confession.
It's a thoughtful look on her face. Yeah.
Then this is overdue.
A forced confession doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. You have to be repentant.
Oh, I have found my method to be quite effective.
Me abençoe, Pai, porque eu há pecado. That is, bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Very good. Now, let us truly begin.
She just kind of rolls her eyes.
Confess. And that light grows brighter.
The roll I've been waiting for.
Everything starts to burn.
Yes.
What's your discipline?
1 yellow, 1 green.
So, like,
right,
you're almost definitely going to fail this roll, but I have such belief in my heart that she's just going to destroy him somehow. Like, I just... if anyone's going to do it...
You want to spend a story points?
Oh, yeah. Wait. Sure.
Do it.
Sure. I'll do that.
I was going to maybe argue her getting some kind of blue dice since this is like she knows the nature of confessions and stuff. I don't know.
That level of confidence.
Not this, dude. Confessions are not like this at all.
That's a good point. I'm just trying to help.
She's just got so much confidence.
All right. That confidence breaks fast.
Yeah.
As you try to hold up and everything burns. You get 6 wounds, 6 strain.
Yes.
And you flash back. You see yourself getting drunk.
Yes.
You see yourself going to parties. You see yourself decades ago in your affair with Voltaire.
One of many, yes.
Yes, you see various other affairs. You go back far enough.
Yes.
And you're in your mansion. Your family's mansion.
Lovely. My favorite place.
With all of its pristine decor, including various golden crosses.
Yeah.
As you have a massive fight with your parents.
Do I?
And leave.
Not that I'm ever home.
Then the voice of the confessor comes. Lust. Drunkenness.
Yeah.
Dishonoring parents. Sin after sin after sin. Decades of sin. After being raised in a God-fearing home. To come from a child of the Inquisition. To this. Your sins are too many to count. What are you?
What her emotion would be right now? I need a sec. It's a lot of things.
And you're also still in agonizing pain at the same time.
Oh, lovely. Love it. So pecadora.
The pain relieves. He's standing above you again.
Am I still unable to speak?
Yeah, you're in, like, agonizing pain still. Think about this confession.
She looks at him defiantly, but with tears in her eyes.
It is not too late for you. Many of your friends are too far gone to ever find redemption. But perhaps you might have a chance. And then there is a knock from outside. Confessor, the High Inquisitor wishes to speak to you. It's urgent. We will return to this, child. Do not fear. We will purge all of your sins. And he leaves.
Eu não tenho medo de seu Deus.
He, like, glances back and then closes the door behind him. What did you say? I'm curious.
I don't fear your God.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
Love it. Here for it all day.
100%. So I am in love with how different the halves have gone. Like, the first three were just real painful and incredibly deeply sad.
Yeah.
And then freaking the second half was just sass, sarcasm, and defiance.
All the way.
Speaking of defiance, can we? Voltaire really wants to get out of here.
Yeah, you can make your attempt now.
Hey, Rian wants a chance too, okay?
I do, but I can't.
Hello everyone, this is Caitlin aka Howie, and welcome to roughly the middle of the episode. I hope you are enjoying it so far. I have probably a pretty understandable love, not hate, but you know, it's upsetting. It's an upsetting one. I've never spent so much time violently flapping my arms around and like viscerally shuddering whilst editing an episode. Not nearly as much as I did while editing this one, so I hope you're enjoying it. I'm sorry it's a million years late. We are doing our best to get to the end of this season so that we can take a little bit of a break. Thank you so very much for sticking with us as we have some messy scheduling things. As always, never fear though, we're gonna keep telling this gosh dang story until it is complete. You know what's great? The buddy system. The buddy system is great. And listening to this podcast is something that you could have a buddy in, potentially. If you tell a friend about it, I'm gonna go ahead and rate Podcast Buddies a 10 out of 10. Speaking of 10 out of 10 buddies, at this time we'd like to thank Aimee Clark, Richard Wyatt, Shane Ruman, Russell Parker, and new patron Nick Briseño. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, please hit me up and correct me. Thank you all so much for supporting the podcast and supporting us and just basically giving us a vote of confidence. We really love what we're doing and we couldn't do what we're doing without you. If you want to join the list of super cool, awesome people stated previous, go to patreon.com/thegenesys archives and sign up for one of our Cool Beans tiers. If you want to support us in non-monetary ways, you can talk about us on Tumblr, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. You could join our Discord server and hang out, give us feedback, tell us what you think, or you could leave a review on whatever podcasting platform you listen to. The easiest one to find reviews on for us is Apple Podcasts, but anywhere you want to leave one is great. We're also getting into end of season 2 territory, which means that it is once again time for you to ask any questions that you have for us about the story or about the game or about our lives or whatever. Like, the future, about characters, grab onto your nearest social media platform, jump onto the Discord, follow our email listed on our Anchor page, and send us your questions so that we can answer them in a post-season Q&A. All of the things are listed and linked in the description below. Again, thank you so much for listening. I hope you're having a good time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye-bye!
Okay, so we're gonna go with coordination again.
Okay.
I am definitely flipping a story point.
Flipping it back.
Naturally.
Fair enough.
What's your coordination?
3 green.
Isn't it technically still a little easier because he'd already still loosened the...
Yes. It still has its difficulty reduced by 1.
Nice.
All right. You break free. You're going to take 2 more strain, but you are able to slip free of your bonds.
I don't feel like it's really going to be this easy to escape.
Probably not.
It's not.
Fortunately, with this despair, right as you slip free of the bonds, the door opens.
Of course.
Who's there?
So you would have been trying for a bit to get me out of these.
Uh-huh.
With those 2 coordination attempts, that would be several minutes for each one. But yeah, so when you finally get free, and as you're starting to undo your other restraints, the door opens and the confessor comes in.
No.
Of course.
Along with another robed figure.
Yeah.
Double no.
Oh, no.
The robes of the High Inquisitor are different than the robes he wore when he was a cardinal. But the face is the same.
The moment Voltaire lays eyes on his face, he forgets. He lunges towards him with as much as he can.
He still has restraints on his legs and his chest. So yeah, his lunges, and you kind of get whiplashed back into the table.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
You're going to take a wound there.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And a strain.
Uh-huh. Takes a wound, takes a strain, and then he says, looking at him straight in the eyes as he slowly moves to undo the rest of his straps. You bastard, you should be dead.
By the grace of God, I yet live.
I hope you can feel the eye rolls that come from my direction.
Please, sit down. You don't need to be made to hurt any more than you already have this day.
I would love to sit. Care to let me unstrap myself?
No. Lie back down. Next to him, the Confessor's staff glows a bit brighter. You've already felt the Confessor's touch. Do you wish to experience it more this night?
Voltaire doesn't respond.
Does he try to unstrap himself?
Oh, he's still trying.
Very well, then. Confessor. This Confessor raises his staff and hisses, "Confess!"
2 yellow, 1 green.
All right, you are going to suffer... Oh, wait, no. That's a success. Oh. You're going to suffer 1 wound and 1 strain, and you see more images flashing through your mind of you leaving Elianna behind back when you were first together, and more images of guilt, but you are still in control of yourself.
Excellent.
Your touch has grown soft, Confessor. And the Confessor, just moves forward and grabs you by the shoulder and shoves you down. Are you going to resist it?
Of course.
That's athletics versus athletics.
2 yellow. And yes, I would like to flip a story point, please.
Flipping it back.
All those with zealous fire, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Gosh, I wish I had it right now.
I forgot about that.
I wish there was a town.
Okay, your rage is so good right now.
Oh yeah, he is.
You succeeded with a triumph. So this guy shoves you down with almost superhuman strength, and you just finding a reservoir of strength inside you didn't know you had. throw him back and throw him off and across the room. He just flies into the wall. Just,
It seems you haven't bettered your taste in servants.
No, unfortunately not. Good help is so hard to come by.
Why are you here?
There is something I need from you. I have been given a vision. God has spoken to me, and it is my task to end the Order of Saint Lucifer once and for all.
The ravings of a lunatic mean little to me.
Ah, but you are key to this plan. God has told me that I am to bind a rebellious angel. And what greater act of rebellion is there than fathering a child with a mortal?
Of course.
We're all check. We're going to try and bust out the remaining...
Your feet are still tied, I thought.
Athletics check. We're going to try and bust out of the remainder.
All right.
That's 2 yellow, a story point, and I feel like after that last thing, I should at least get a blue die.
I think you should get 2 blue die.
Yes.
I'm not going to argue.
You are on a roll, my man.
Yes. This narrative is great.
You're going to take 2 strain, but you bust free of your remaining bonds.
Oh my laws. Okay, so Voltaire is free. He lunges forward. Did they empty his pocket?
Yes.
So he is currently unarmed.
Yes.
In every way.
Oh, wait, that pocket. No, sorry, I forget you have a bottomless bag for a pocket. No.
I do have a bottomless bag for a pocket.
No, they would not, because that doesn't look like there's anything in there.
They would have patted it and felt nothing, probably.
Yep, they would have patted him down when they captured him, and there would have been no sign of anything in there.
Excellent. The High Inquisitor is now staring down the barrel of Voltaire's shotgun.
Oh. Does he pull the trigger?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
He pulls out the shotgun, and the Inquisitor raises a hand and says, no. He's going to make an act of faith check. It's his discipline as a magic skill check to use the barrier spell.
Oh, so it's not reflexive barrier.
Well, yeah, it is reflexive barrier.
Oh, okay.
But he's also using the power of faith talent at the same time.
Right, got it. Oh, frick. That's going to be a really good barrier.
What's your ranged heavy skill?
Oh, boy.
I have 3 yellow and 1 green.
Voltaire pulls the trigger on his shotgun, aiming at the High Inquisitor's face. And how much damage does the shotgun do? That's 8, right?
Base 8, yep.
Okay, 1 success, that's 9. So he raises his hand and says no. And you fire the shotgun, and the pellets all stop midair in front of his upraised hand.
Oh my.
He's a force
and then drop.
Matrixing it.
As his whole body is very faintly suffused with golden light.
Okay. Obviously ranged weaponry. Not gonna work. So, Voltaire, he would rush forward and pull out his knife.
What's your family light?
2 yellow. This is, for all the irony, a blessed combat knife.
I was about to say, I wonder if blessed stuff does more damage to these guys. It feels like it should.
Probably to the Confessor, but
don't-
not the High Inquisitor.
Not the High Inquisitor. Maybe the Confessor, but we don't know. We haven't tested
They
it.
seem pretty evil.
It's not a well.
It's not just
I
evil.
know,
That
it's not.
It's sadly
I
it's
know.
all right.
the nature of the evil.
You come down with a knife, and right as it is about to touch him, the blade shatters.
Ooh.
That's very rude.
Voltaire, hundreds of years it has been now, and still you have learned nothing.
Learned nothing. You killed the woman who saved your life.
She was a witch. She needed to burn.
She was a woman who knew the ways of science, and one who saved your sorry skin from roasting in hell.
He smiles. I have no fear of hell. I have been faithful all these centuries. And Beginning with this day, I will strike a blow against the enemies of God that none will be able to stand against. War will come, and all over the world, the order of St. Lucifer will fall. All I need is a name buried deep in your subconscious.
Voltaire just looks at him with the unhinged smirk of a man who doesn't have many options. He just looks at him and he says, "Roast in hell." He makes a break for it.
Shadows, and two figures step out of the shadows by the doorway. One a man, the other a young woman with a striking resemblance to Andi. And
Okay.
you're going to have to make an athletics check to get past them.
Come on.
Keep it rolling.
Yes, I would like to flip a story point.
Frick, yes.
All right, flipping it back.
Yay.
Go, 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 go.
Do I get the 2 blue die from before?
No.
That's it.
I think the rage is there, but like the momentum of it was technically stopped.
Fine.
Like it was denied.
No.
All right, so you go up, and the girl sweeps out with her leg, and the guy smashes with his arm, and the guy hits you right in the face as the girl sweeps your legs out from under you.
Nice.
Well,
And you fall flat on the ground, and you're going to take 3 wounds from that.
Nice.
What are you?
Yeah,
at?
how are you doing there, buddy?
Not great.
Shadows, take him to the ritual circle.
That doesn't sound good.
Can Voltaire? Okay. After he eats it, he's not knocked out.
No, but they grab you immediately after. So you could try to make another athletics check to bust 3 of them, but it's going to be with some black dice now.
Voltaire, okay. What I want to try, they go to pick him up, and he's just like, all right. I will go with you.
They're still grabbing him. He's an enemy agent.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Can't
yeah.
blame him.
I mean, how many of us actually trust Voltaire?
Well, the point. Is there any way he can shove his hands into his pockets?
Nope. They don't put your arms behind you. They pull them backwards.
Oh,
One of them holding each arm. They twist your arms back and make sure he doesn't reach into his pocket. He apparently can pull quite a few weapons from there.
Well, as they're dragging him, he's just yelling. I'm assuming there are other cells.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. If you're planning on coming out, now would be a good time.
Don't worry. Once we have you in the ritual circle, the mental extraction should be relatively painless.
For whatever reason, I don't find that comforting.
Unlike your employer's pet, the Mindbreaker, I have some tact. But don't worry. We will give you a seat to watch as the order burns, and it will be all at your father's hands.
At least my employers have standards.
He waves, and the shadows mutely take you away.
Oh, Voltaire does not go quietly.
All right, athletics.
Uh-huh. And yes, I would like to flip another story point.
You are spending them like they were cheap dollars.
You failed with a triumph and 2 threats. You get 2 strain.
Gosh.
You are able to break free briefly. You get 1 action.
Are you looking at
One action or a maneuver.
Gosh, I desperately wish Cayden wasn't freaking immobilized and staggered at this very moment. It sucks.
Dude, tell me when Rian
Voltaire?
tries to work out again.
Voltaire whips out his phone and speed dials Zaitlos.
All right, so
Yes.
you whip out your
Oh
phone,
my.
press a button, and then they grab you and twist your arms back again. They're holding you, so they can't pick up the phone.
Mhm.
And then, what is it, Voltaire?
Come and find me. And then he passes out due to being over his strain threshold.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh.
What? And then one of them smashes the phone with their foot.
I didn't want to
Can you
interrupt.
press
I have to say, every time Jonathan or the confessor guy says, like, tell me what are you? The first thing that comes to my mind is, I am a child of but I don't feel like that's the answer he wants.
Okay, that would be a power move, though.
That
He
would
said
be
That would be
second
such
year
a power move.
You
Yeah, I
could.
love it.
You could do that.
I can't though, because it's not a song that she would know.
I mean,
It's
you could
not.
say, yeah.
Something
Something
in
similar.
effect.
Something similar, yeah. But that would be beautiful to see.